Whether you've made $24,000 in a week like me, or you've never made anywhere close to that, this is what it feels like. Imagine you just won a game of Monopoly. You collected all the properties on the board and accumulated all of the money. You have a beaming smile on your face while everyone cleans up and puts the game back in the box. And then 5 minutes goes by and nobody actually cares that you won. And you stopped caring that you won as well, maybe after a few more minutes of humble bragging. It's quite literally all fun and games until the game is over and you are back to reality. You still doubt your ability to make money, you still have health issues, and you still feel unfulfilled. And if you're new here, I talk about my experiences and lessons building a multiple six-figure online business, natural health, and traditional values. So if you like any of that, make sure to subscribe. And if you're wondering why I'm not wearing a shirt, it's because I'm a tropical kind of guy who enjoys life more without shoes and without a shirt. So I'm just out here enjoying life and making videos. Be very cautious of creating your entire identity around making money, building a business. I did that for the longest time. That is a bad place to be. Because you almost get introduced as like, oh yeah, this is Tyler, the business guy. And it's like, well, I like a lot of other things too. Like I like working on and driving cars. I like going to the beach. I'm obviously very big on taking care of my health and my body and studying about nutrition and biology and human psychology. And I like all of these things, right? But when someone would go, oh yeah, this is Tyler, the business guy. At first I was kind of cool, but then it was like, man, are people like, is that all that I am? Is just Tyler, the business guy, Tyler, the guy who makes money, right? You don't want your entire identity to be just so one-dimensional, right? You want your entire identity to be three-dimensional and to, hey, this is Tyler. He likes X, Y, and Z. Not just, this is Tyler, he does this one thing. So that was a very big statement that had a very big impact on my life and was kind of at that, right at that same time of that turning point, around that time of when I made $24,000 in a week, and it was like, something has to change here because my identity and my psychology is not healthy currently because it is so one-dimensional. So there's a lot of lies around material things, especially when it comes to social media. You see the watches, the cars, and you see these things, these actual physical material things, and you think their life must be this way that I imagine it. It must be so good. It must be such an amazing life because they have these things. So we have this weird conceptual vision that we create about these people and what their lives must be like, even though sometimes we know nothing about their lives, or we definitely don't have any ideas about the thoughts that they're thinking or the trouble, the problems that they're going through. But we see the physical material things and we think, oh, their life must be so great. And so we have to be really careful and cautious when we view these people, and we have to be careful and cautious of being envious or jealous of what they have, because their life and their mental abilities, their mental capacities, their mental issues, the things that are going on in their life that we can't see, that only they know of, they might switch places with us in an instant if they saw how good your mental headspace was, and they might be jealous and envious of how you think and how you perceive the world. But you might be envious and jealous of the things that they have because of the way that you think their life is. But it's false, or I should say that can be false. It's not always false. But next time that you see these things, I want you to think about that only the best of people's lives goes on social media for majority of people, right? 99% of people. Only the highlights, only the best things go on the social media. Even if people are like vlogging of day to day, right? They don't show you, well, as far as I'm concerned, they don't show you the mundane tasks and the boring stuff that they have to do. They show you the highlights of the day. And so social media is literally wired this way to show you the best. So next time you see this on social media, I want to challenge you to not be jealous and not be envious and not think of if I had this, my life would be better too, just like them. Because a lot of the times, it's not the case. And also, obviously, I'm still super young, but as I get older, the more I realize there is not much meaning in stuff. Humans are unique creatures that like to accumulate a lot of stuff. I really don't know of any other animals that really accumulate stuff besides maybe like a pack rat, which is what my mother called me when I was little because I saved everything. I used to be that exact same way. I had tons and tons of stuff, and the older I get, the more that I'm getting rid of stuff. And I'm also even moving across the country in about 2 weeks now, and I am getting rid of a ton of stuff. And when I get there, I'm only going to be buying a few things, just the bare minimum of what I need. Because the more stuff that you have, the more strings you have attached to you, right? It's almost like you're trying to walk somewhere and you have strings with all this, or chains with all this stuff attached to you. Even if it's not, like extra, more cars or whatever that you have to, I have to pay insurance and gas and, change the oil like I just did on my car yesterday. Like all of these things, even if it's not that, even if you just have things, it takes up mental real estate and it blocks out your ability to create and think clearly, and it forms clouds in your mind. So I want you to really think about next time when you're buying things or thinking about getting rid of some stuff, consider, what do I actually need? What's the bare minimum? What can I live without? And so you will have a handful of those few material things that are just much more than material. They are something that is actually a representation or a milestone. For me, I got this watch, nice Hamilton watch, when I hit my first $5,000 a month with my online business. And so little things like that definitely have value and they have their time and place, but you don't want to collect little things for every single little milestone, right? And then when making money like this, you have to think about your priorities, and is making money your sole priority and your sole focus? And if so, maybe you're in a short season of building right now, and that's totally fine. That's totally acceptable to have these seasons and to go through times and changes when your focus is on different things and you have different priorities. But don't make money your sole focus forever. Don't make it an idol. If it's a season, that's okay. That happens. But when your full attention, your full priority is always on making money, you start having issues with identity. You start having issues with your health. You start having issues with neglecting relationships. And once again, even if you look back to traditional biblical values, the love of money is the root of all evil. Once again, not money, but the love of money. So it's saying don't make money your idols. Don't have other idols, right? And so when you have those seasons of, okay, I need to make money right now, I need to focus on this, and then, next month I'm going to be focusing on my relationships, but I just got to get out of this hole right now. Like that happens. It's totally normal. That's totally fine. But when you make it for a prolonged period of time, that's when you start running into issues. And you also have to be careful of making money almost being a distraction or an excuse. And I'm not even going to give examples for that because that could be a multitude of things. But if that message right there hit you, don't make money a distraction or an excuse, then you already know the thing that it is distracting you from or you are making an excuse for. So I hope that resonates with somebody. So I've been doing a ton of work on myself, studying human psychology, which is something that I've always been interested in, doing a lot of not consuming so much and producing more, right? I'm posting a YouTube video every single day right now. Once again, for the season that I'm in. I'm not going to do that forever, but for the season that I'm in right now, I'm focusing more on producing rather than being a consumer, because when I'm consuming so much, I don't have the capacity to then be able to produce, and I'm consuming a lot of the same messages over and over again. And yeah, it's good to hear something over and over again to get that really cemented into your mindset and your who you are and your thought process. But at the same time, we can kind of just distract ourselves and run into issues when we keep consuming and we don't spend time in quiet. We don't spend time producing. And we think that we're being busy and we think we're getting a lot done and we think we're growing our business, but we are consuming too much and we're not producing. And profitable businesses produce way more than they consume. And that's how they make money. So once again, if you're new here, you want to hear more about my experiences and lessons that I've learned in growing a multiple six-figure online business, natural health, traditional values, all that good stuff. If you're into that, make sure to subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow.